I'm attorney Alex Kincaid, and thank you for watching the AK Show. Today I'm bringing you a topic that is interesting to me. I came across it while researching something else, and I started finding more and more laws that have been passed in different states that require dealers to put certain warnings on each and every firearm that they sell. And this is one of those areas of gun control where you might sit back and say, okay, so what? We're warning people that a deadly weapon is deadly. If they need that kind of a label when they purchase a gun, so be it, big deal. But what caught my eye and became very interesting to me as I kept reading and reading was how much of the legislative process in making findings to justify the passing of these laws is just anti-gun nonsense, a spewing of statistical information that may or may not be true. And in fact, one of these labels that I'm going to tell you about just epitomizes that statement. So what's happening is, and let's just use California, it's an endless supply of information on where the gun control community is focusing and what they're doing to deter people from not only buying guns, but from selling them. They made a finding in their legislative process that from 1987 to 1996, nearly 2,200, I wish I had a little music in the background, maybe we can add a little, the little violin playing. Nearly 2,200 children in the United States under the age of 15 years died in unintentional shootings. In 1996 alone, 138 children were shot and killed unintentionally because you, bad person, bought a firearm. That's essentially what they're saying here. And this, the propaganda goes on in these findings where they get to one item that says currently firearms are the only products manufactured in the United States that are not subject to minimum safety standards. What? Most people who purchase a deadly weapon realize that the weapon is deadly. They intend to use it to protect lives, and they need a deadly weapon in order to do that against the evil that exists in our society. So, what's happening here is that this kind of statistical spewing is winding up on each and every firearm that's being sold. And I actually think the label from Massachusetts just tops the list of nonsense. It's a warning from the Attorney General on the label that says this handgun is not equipped with a device that fully blocks use by unauthorized users. More than 200,000 firearms like this one are stolen from their owners every year in the United States. In addition, there are more than 1,000 suicides each year by younger children and teenagers who get access to firearms. Hundreds, we don't know how many, hundreds more die from accidental discharge. This is my favorite part. It is likely that many more children sustain serious wounds or inflict such wounds accidentally on others. No factual basis here. Just, it's likely. We think, this is fiction, not fact. It is likely that many more children sustain serious wounds or inflict such wounds accidentally on others. So what's required here on the label? You have to keep the weapon locked in a secure place, take steps necessary to limit the possibility of theft or accident, and failure to do so may result in your liability for these deaths. So what we're telling people who aren't you and me and can see through the nonsense, but maybe it's someone who's buying their very first gun, is that, if you buy this gun, you could be responsible for someone else's death. This is a way of deterring people from buying guns. And it's not only a way of deterring people from buying guns, it's a way of deterring people from selling guns. Because the more and more rules that we dump on our dealers, the more possibility There is that they make a mistake, or that they don't comply for some other reason with the laws, and they lose their ability to sell firearms. And I'm going to give you another example out of California, because California they require something that no one else does. They require a yellow triangle containing an exclamation mark immediately before the word warning on the label. So, we've got to capture attention with this image, and it's very specific because you can't put the triangle with the exclamation mark after the word warning. It has to go before. Looking at a gun and recognizing that that gun is a deadly weapon, we just don't expect people to do that anymore. We've got to have the triangle with the exclamation mark to make sure that people can realize that that firearm could take human life. So if a dealer in California messes this up, dealer loses their license or ability to sell or gets fined, but you get the point, right? Now we're making this process of selling firearms just ridiculously onerous and impossible, to the point where people are saying, forget it, I don't even want to be involved in this business. And that's exactly what the liberal liars want. So the list of states where these kinds of warning labels are popping up, and one of the reasons I really wanted to do this show was to make you aware of what's happening. This isn't just stupid labels on guns. This is propaganda. This is gun control. This is the anti-gunners infiltrating society and spreading their lies on each and every firearm that's sold. And if this hasn't happened yet in your state, I'm hoping that you will pay more attention and not just think, oh, it's a warning label on a gun law, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. And states that have these laws currently include California, Connecticut, Florida, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York City, North Carolina, Texas, Wisconsin, and who's next? So be wary of these kinds of laws. Pay attention to what's going on in your home state and oppose this liberal nonsense. What I really wish is that we would stop treating people, and particularly our children, like they are stupid, irresponsible beings that are incapable of following rules and using their own brains. Why do we have to have warning labels with triangles and exclamation marks? Why can't we tell kids firearms are an amazing tool that can be used to save your life, to save the lives of your loved ones? But if you don't pay attention, if you're irresponsible, if you use it improperly, you're going to take someone's life, and you can never undo that. I'm old enough to remember when we drove with guns in the cars as kids, and my brother and I would go plinking after school. I used to ride a bike without a helmet, which I know is just unheard of nowadays. But we need to stop trying to put every person in a bubble, in a padded room where they couldn't possibly inflict injury. We need to start teaching our children some responsibility. And I think maybe some of this is coming out of that realm of liberalism where we don't make anybody responsible for anything. But a lot of this has to do simply with the anti-gun community trying to get this nonsense out in front of people and trying to get them to not buy a gun. They don't want to have that kind of responsibility. I'm Alex Kincaid, and thank you for watching the AK Show. You may have noticed new surroundings here. I am very happy to be filming in my hometown of Emmett, where I have opened a second office. I spend a lot of time in Emmett ranching with my husband, and also we have a horse sanctuary where we have veterans to the sanctuary every Friday afternoon. You might look up Hidden Hollow Horse Rescue. We'll have a link in the bio. If you know a veteran who would possibly benefit from this kind of a program, please have them fill out an online form, send them our way. And if you simply support the cause, feel free to make a donation. Thank you. This is Alex AK Kincaid, and thank you for watching the AK Show.